listening to the Fun with Horror podcast with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
Hi.
Hi, and hello to our beautiful, amazing, wonderful, superb, excellent, lots more horror fans, horror family. As you have probably seen from the title of this, or if you're a long-time subscriber / family member, this is Fun with Horror. This is
What if you just did that for like the whole episode, and then finally at the end you say the name of the episode? Like an hour later, you're listening to Fun with Horror.
You're like, oh, that's what it is.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Keep going.
No, I like
that was
when
wonderful.
No, this is fun. Just
With horror.
This is the as you may or may not know, the weekly horror movie review podcast in which Scotty, whose adorable voice you just heard, and we take turns giving each other scary movies to watch, horror movies to watch, and then we discuss them the following week. Guess what? We have two rules. And that is, whoever picks the next movie must pick one that they have never seen, and then the second rule is that we both have to watch it. The last pick was me, and I picked the 1992 classic Candyman, which was directed by Bernard Rose, and it stars Virginia Madsen, Tony Todd, Xander Berkeley, and Casey Lemmons. And please remember to stick around to the end of this episode where we get to do my favorite part, which is to listen and hear what Scotty's pick is for next week.
Stop that with your favorite part.
It is my favorite part, and I'll always say that.
No.
Yes.
No.
All right. The whole thing's my favorite part.
Ugh.
Anyway, how you doing, bud?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
I mean, I'm not okay. I'm good.
Oh, good. Okay. I know that was... I hope you're doing well.
I'm actually really good. I'm excited to talk about Candyman.
Dude, me too. Me too. I know you I can't remember. I think it was a text that you sent, but you're just like, this one, I'm really excited about this. And
yeah.
I am too. This one I am very excited about. Oh. But I thought of a question when we were just kind of chatting briefly before this. Might be a weird question, but I'm going to go with it. And
I hope it's weird.
It is. Yeah, we'll see. But my question is...
Yes, I do find aardvarks scary.
Weird. I find them attractive.
Was that your question, by the way?
It was, yeah. Yeah, are they scary or attractive?
Good.
So, All right, well, that's our intro, I guess.
Aardvarks.
Aardvarks. That was so random, dude. Of all the things.
But what's your real question?
Oh man. Okay, so the real question is.
I threw you. See?
I know.
I told you 2 episodes. I said I'm gonna throw you off your game.
And look at what you did. Now I'm stuttering.
Aardvarks did it.
The aardvarks always do it to me. That was weird. Anyway, question: if you could take any comedy movie and give it a horror sequel, which one would you pick and why?
Man, do you already have one in mind?
I do, so if you want me to jump in while you think about it.
Yeah, because I got to think about mine.
I know.
Go for it.
All right. So the first one that came to mind, or I guess really the only one that came to mind, would be Scott Pilgrim versus the World. The reason...
What?
Yeah, dude. If we could
How would you make that scary?
No, I'm saying if we had a sequel, like here's what I'm saying. I guess let me explain.
Oh yeah.
So the reason I would pick that one as a sequel, I don't know how it would be scary or how they could make it scary, but knowing that Edgar Wright was behind it, who I still haven't seen, Last Night in Soho, which is I guess somewhat of a horror, but him behind it, I think the cast in it. And the writing could be really cool, and it could be awesome to see like a horror movie done as almost the comic strip craziness that is the first one. I don't know, man. I just think it'd be kind of cool. It'd be unique. It'd be super weird. but I think it could be
I got
done
it.
really well. Yeah.
I can go. Give me 1 second, buddy. Bowie, stop that. Stop eating that.
Stop
Bowie, no. She just eats things.
Bowie.
Bowie, stop eating it.
Ah.
Oh, and she just turned around and ignored me like a cat.
Isn't that how they all work?
I think she's getting okay. I think she stopped though.
Good, Bowie.
Anyway, that's a good choice, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Bowie. So when are those T-shirts with Bowie and Ziggy on them coming out?
Oh, man.
With horror with Bowie and Ziggy.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Hopefully by the time this episode airs, I will have posted pictures, so anybody who cares out there will have seen what Bowie and Ziggy look like.
Yes, please. Please put a pic up the babies.
My choice.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm going to go with Porky's.
Oh, whoa, okay. Interesting.
That was the first thing I thought of. Well, I thought of Meatballs, but no.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with Porky's because you could have a serious, honest-to-God horror movie just dealing with Porky himself.
Fair.
Now, keep in mind, I'm just talking a sequel to the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember what happens in the second and third movies. I don't remember if Porky dies at all. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, man, Porky could be a darn scary horror movie villain.
Ooh, that's good.
Like, instead of the comedy, Porky starts going around killing the kids
Ooh.
with his band of redneck patrons. Because he does. He has a bunch of, like, his bar, his establishment is a very redneck establishment.
Totally. Yep.
Complete with a Confederate flag and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see Porky as a really scary villain.
Ooh, that's a good one, man. I wouldn't even thought that. That's perfect.
There you go.
Ah. Well, there you go. That was just a fun
Good
question of
question.
the week. Oh, thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Candyman, you don't have to believe. Just beware.
So, without further ado,
Yeah.
we're both anxious to talk about this movie. Last week, you chose the original Candyman from 1992.
Yes.
So, hey, buddy, what did you think of Candyman?
Right away, I mean, genuinely the first minute of the movie where we just hear Tony Todd talking, I was hooked. And I was hooked the entire movie. 'Cause
No
Tony,
pun intended.
oh my gosh, I did not even mean that. Yes. That is amazing. Thank you, Scotty. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was so good. Oh, thanks, dude. I'm going to say I'll edit this all out so it just sounds like it was perfect and I made it up myself. No.
There you go.
No, that was awesome. No, I was hooked. Pun intended now.
Stop it.
Sorry. I was enthralled all the way through this
No
movie.
pun intended, huh?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, that works.
Makes no sense.
No,
Go
I know.
for it. Keep going. Keep going. Sorry.
No, I love it, dude. This is why we do it, man. We have fun with horror. No, but I loved it. I genuinely loved this movie. Like, a lot. Like, I knew I was going to like it. I didn't know I was going to love it. And I loved it. That being said, though,
Very nice.
thank you. What did you think of this movie?
Well, let's go a little bit deeper here.
Ooh.
Tell me how you watched it. What your atmosphere, everything. I want to know.
So this was another one I watched early in the morning because I
You
just
and your early morning horror movies.
it was which I always think maybe not, but maybe it does. I don't know. It just is fun for me. I get up early, like I've said this before when Fear Street and those movies came out. It's like Christmas. I got up. I was excited. I made a coffee. I sat there. Though it's still dark outside because it's like 4 a.m. No one's around. I turn the lights off and I just kind of cuddle up and with my coffee and watch this movie.
What time? Wait, what time?
Like 4 a.m.
What?
I
Oh my
know.
goodness.
I know.
Like you could have texted me. I was probably still awake.
You probably were.
Oh my God.
I know. I cannot sleep. I am a horrible sleeper. If a pin drops outside, I'm up. I'm ready to go. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad you use horror movies to deal with your mild insomnia.
I think so. I think it's good. I think it helps.
Buddy, the best part of waking up is Tony Todd in your cup.
Ooh,
Huh?
ooh,
Yeah?
that was good.
I love that, though. I love to picture little Andrew. Not that you're little, but you're always little Andrew to me.
I love that nickname.
Little Andrew waking up 4 o'clock in the morning, sitting with his cup of coffee all bundled up in a blanket watching Candyman.
Dude, it was, yeah. I recommend if you ever get the chance to wake up at 4 in the morning.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I have a girlfriend, though, and
Yeah.
our apartment is probably not as spacious as your house. Did you have headphones on?
No,
Nope. See, I'd have to put headphones on,
fair enough.
and then if she walks out during one of the big scenes, it's like, oh, sorry. Good morning.
Hi.
Yeah. So, well, real quick, let's just say, once again, as always, we are going to go somewhat in depth with this movie. We're going to spoil it.
Yes.
So, if by some weird chance you haven't seen Candyman, the original now, just the original,
Yep.
we're going to spoil it. So, this is your chance to either keep listening if you don't care, or to go watch the movie and then come back and listen. That said,
Yeah, what'd you
that
think?
said, well, so it was weird. It was great. I mean, I love the movie, but
Yay, okay.
for me, I told you last week, I had only seen this movie when it first came out, probably on home video,
Nice.
and I hadn't seen it since. So I was actually surprised at how little I remembered of the movie.
Okay.
I went down the rabbit hole this past week with Candyman. On Monday, I read the Clive Barker short story that the movie is based on. It's called The Forbidden.
Nice.
And it's in Books of Blood, Volume 5, I believe.
Wow.
And, because I didn't remember the story at all, I didn't remember how much the movie was connected to the story he wrote, how well it adapted it. So I wanted to go in knowing all that. And yeah, I was just I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was surprised at how well the movie does adapt the story. Bernard Rose, the director, did a fantastic job, and evidently, from what I also listened to the full commentary that included Bernard Rose, Tony Todd, Virginia Madsen, Casey Lemmons.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
Clive Barker himself was even in the commentary.
Oh,
at
cool.
times.
That's cool.
And it was really nice hearing his input. But yeah, I actually have it written down here that the director. Wait, where is it? He met Clive. Yeah, Clive Barker was filming Nightbreed.
Oh, nice.
When Bernard Rose was on the stage and met Clive Barker. And after talking to him, Clive Barker wasn't. I don't know how big he was back then. I think he was somewhat famous at that point, but evidently Bernard went and read all the Books of Blood.
Oh, wow.
And there were a few that he felt that were ripe for adaptation, and Candyman was the one he went to first.
Nice.
Or The Forbidden. But yeah, it was wonderful. And then I watched the movie. Then I watched all these beautiful bonus features that are on the Scream Factory Blu-ray, which, by the way, also, anybody out there, if you don't have the Scream Factory Blu-ray, I highly suggest buying it because the picture quality is fantastic.
Nice.
It's a 1080p transfer from a 4K master. It's just incredible.
Nice. Okay. Good
yeah.
to know.
So yeah, I went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Love this movie. So tell me more. What did you love about it? Did you have any, first, Andrew, did you have any issues with it?
The only issue, and then I want to say a good thing because you'll appreciate it.
Okay.
The only issue, I guess, would be I still am not 100% sure what he and Helena are.
I think it's just Helen.
Or Helen, sorry, Helen.
Helen.
Like, towards the end, we see that kind of mural of Helen, like, may have been his, like, the woman that he was in love with and way back when they cut his hand off.
Mm-hmm.
But then they don't explain that, I guess. And then I'm like, so are they like this reincarnated couple that are now these like ghostly immortals? So I guess it wouldn't even be a complaint. It's just more of a, I would like more clarification. So if you know, you did go down the rabbit hole, maybe you know more.
Well, how did you feel? What was your interpretation?
My interpretation, I guess, would have been, yeah, my first thought was that they're just reincarnated beings. And I even thought maybe this has happened throughout history a few times. And that, but this is like her, I don't know, a version of her that's kind of breaking the cycle by not becoming whatever with him. But I don't know. Like, that was just kind of my initial thought, and I went with it. But even now that I think about it, I'm like, maybe not. I don't know, man.
Well, the beautiful thing is that this movie is open to interpretation.
Nice. Okay.
There's a definite story that they were telling that the director wanted to tell, and it's differs slightly from the book. So real quick, I'm also going to spoil the story.
Yeah, please.
I may as well warn listeners out there of that. So 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. The story does not contain the whole mirror thing, like seeing Candyman 5 times in a mirror.
Interesting.
That's not part of the story. The story also does not contain the history of who the Candyman is.
Oh, okay.
In the book, Candyman is just an urban legend.
Nice.
And Helen is documenting graffiti in this very poor area of Liverpool. Now in the book, it's interesting, and this is one reason I really loved the movie. In the book, I don't remember it being clear that it was Liverpool, but knowing Clive Barker is English, I knew it took place somewhere in England.
Makes sense.
But I was able to picture an American projects, much like Cabrini Green in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it fit perfectly. It was like fitting a jigsaw puzzle piece that doesn't belong in that place, but fits into that empty area perfectly.
Dude.
It was great.
Great analogy, by the way. Love it.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Within that, it's the story in the book was mainly about this woman studying this graffiti and coming upon this urban legend and hearing all these stories of this killer who had killed people. In fact, the story of the mentally handicapped kid in the bathroom,
Right. Yeah.
that horrific story,
Yes.
was in the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Eesh.
But Helen kept coming back to the area because she was just drawn to this thing, and at the end, there's the whole bonfire, just like in the movie, where the baby, actually the baby is killed.
Oh.
Yeah, like the baby's throat is slit, and you get the idea that Candyman came into Anna Marie's house or apartment through the back door and killed the baby. But then they didn't have a body, and Helen goes back into Candyman's room, much like the movie, and then there's the whole scene with the bees and him wanting to kiss her and seduce her. But he's seducing her to become immortal.
Okay.
Like he mentions in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very cerebral thing in the book, and I loved it because he takes her. She's led into the bonfire by I think the kid is carrying, either the kid or Anna Marie is carrying the baby into the middle of the bonfire. And Helen follows. When she finally reaches the baby is taken just out of her grasp. And the baby is safe, or the baby's body. It was the baby's body. So actually, I'll be honest, I don't really remember.
Okay. All right.
It might have been still in there, but I mean, it was the baby's corpse maybe.
Okay.
But anyway, Helen burns alive in the bonfire. As she starts to leave, Candyman comes up behind her and grabs her from behind, much like in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then Helen burns in the bonfire, and in doing so, she becomes the cautionary tale that parents tell their kids. Another story of Candyman's going to get you.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Yep.
Now, in the movie, it's a little bit different. In the movie, I really liked the seductive quality of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's the mirror thing. The mirror was inspired by the Bloody Mary tale.
Right. Yep.
So, and it's funny, originally they had to say Candyman's name 13 times.
Oh my god.
Because I think the original Bloody Mary story is having to say her name 13 times.
Oh, jeez.
But when they first started doing it, they realized 13 was just a little bit too many.
Yeah.
So they changed it to 5.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
But yeah, so there's the urban legend, and Helen is pretty much going to the projects to research that instead. And in doing so, she calls the Candyman, and the Candyman comes to her. And I got the idea, or the impression, that the woman that the Candyman fell in love with
Right.
back in the day, I got the impression that Helen just looked a lot like her.
Okay.
I didn't get the impression that she was a reincarnated version of the girl.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like she looked a lot like her. So Candyman was trying to seduce her in his way.
Gotcha.
And at times she was seduced, but at other times she wasn't, you know? She was still kind of horrified by him.
Yeah. Fair.
Another interpretation that people have said in the past is that the entire Candyman thing is in her head.
Which you could be in the movie. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, if you look at it a certain way, because
Yep.
in the movie, Candyman is framing her, basically, making it look like she's killing these people when it's him doing it.
Right.
So you could say that, wait, is Candyman real? Is she actually killing these people?
Mm-hmm.
But even the director pretty much says in the commentaries and such that it's just that it can definitely be interpreted that way, but no, Candyman is an actual thing.
Okay.
He doesn't think that Helen could do something like that.
Right. And I agree with that from the movie.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Good.
Especially with the ending. I mean, the ending, she becomes kind of the Candyman
Yeah.
in her own way.
Oh, that was a great scene.
And that's like the book. She becomes the urban legend. She becomes the tale. you know?
Okay.
So I like that they kind of stuck with that.
Yeah, I do too. That's cool. It not having read like a lot of Clive Barker, but comparing this movie to Hellraiser, I saw, and maybe it was just the style of the movie, but I could see a lot of similarities. Just
Oh,
watch,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, this is definitely like a Clive Barker just from watching Hellraiser. I was like, oh.
Remind me, have you seen Nightbreed?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So how about it?
Same
did it
thing.
Remind you of that at all? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, kind of that gothic. I guess that's the best word for it. I guess that's all I can think of. Gothic feel to it.
Now let me ask you this, buddy.
Yeah,
Have you seen The Midnight Meat Train?
I never have. No, I haven't.
Put it on your list, please.
Okay, I will do that.
It's another Clive Barker adaptation.
Cool. Okay.
And when I was a teenager, I was a huge Clive Barker fan.
Oh,
when I
nice.
discovered the Books of Blood, I was in heaven. And I will tell you, to this day, just like horror movies give me a sense of comfort, sometimes I'll go to bed and opening a Clive Barker book gives me a very sense of comfort. Like, I just love horror.
Nice.
Just the horror. And Clive Barker is very visceral.
Yeah.
So he deals a lot with sexuality and horror mingled together,
I can see that.
which I love.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you like that aspect of it too.
For sure. It was, yeah. Yep. Very, very cool. I got to tell you, though, and this is the thing I think you'll appreciate.
Tell me.
So around October-ish, of course, you and I have talked about this. We get the Halloween vibes already. We're excited. And so I
Yeah.
went on Spotify and just looked up, I wanted something playing in the background at work. And I put on, I think it was just like horror music, but like with just piano. And I was like, that's cool. That'll be
Yes.
fun. I listened to it, and this song comes on. And I literally stopped everything I was doing at work to see what it was, because I went, whoa, this is fantastic. I don't know what this is, what it's from, but I love it. And it was Music Box from Candyman. That song played in this movie was perfection. I love that song. And to hear it every time it came on, I got that Halloween feeling, that creepy feeling, that good, October vibe. So I think
Awesome.
just hearing that, I can't sing it, but hearing that tune was just beautiful in this movie. So it really sparked like I said, I've had this on my list for a while, but knowing that piece of music was going to be in this, and knowing that it was probably some more music would be similar to it, which there was for sure, made me very excited to watch this movie.
Yeah. And this is, I was trying to think about it, and what episode is this?
24, I think.
Is this 24 or
Yeah.
25?
No, I think we're 24. It's 24.
We've done so many I lose count.
Right.
This may be the best score for any of the movies that we have covered so far. And we've had some pretty good ones.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that, I remember last year I was watching a show on Amazon Prime Video called Tales from the Loop. And the music, I believe, is done by Philip Glass, who I've heard of many times. I've heard his music. And I saw some people saying the theme is great. It sounds a lot like his Candyman score. And I was like, wait, what?
Huh?
Philip Glass did the Candyman score? And the fact that they got somebody like Philip Glass, such an amazing classical composer, to do the score to this horror movie, that says a lot to me.
That's awesome.
And I wish, unfortunately, the score itself is not really easy to find out there.
Really?
There was a vinyl version, but it's very much out of stock everywhere, and I'd have to get it on Discogs, blah, blah, blah. But I do love the score,
Yeah.
and I think it's gorgeous.
Agreed. And it sets the mood. Like, it's not only, I guess this works, it works on a lot of levels. It's gives you that creepy vibe, the whole score, I think, but it also has that romance to it, which the movie is. It could easily, I feel like, be played on a dinner date. But it could also be played on Halloween night. It's such a fantastic score. It really is. So this is one of the first times, I think, that's not true. A few other ones, but this one really resonated with me. So I genuinely appreciate and adore this score.
That's beautiful, dude.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks.
Before we continue to praise the hell out of this movie, I'm going to say the only drawbacks I have to it.
Yes, please, 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 please.
Number one, and this is a very personal one, but this
Okay.
is my biggest drawback.
Mm-hmm.
Too much smoking.
Ah,
It's an early 90s movie.
Yep.
I remember watching Reality Bites
Yeah.
with Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, and they just or Winona Ryder, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
They smoked so much in that movie nonstop, and that really, like, I know the movie is supposed to be good, but I've never seen it again because personally, I'm not a smoker. I've never been a smoker.
Mhm.
I've never liked cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to anybody out there that's a smoker. I'm not putting you down. It's just me. It's just my personal thing. And like the dinner scene in Candyman where they're all just like lighting up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh man, like that'd be the worst restaurant to be sitting in.
Yeah.
When this entire table just lights up and all their cigarette smoke starts wafting around the restaurant. I'm just like, man. So, and she smoked a lot throughout the movie. So that was a turnoff.
Totally,
for me
yeah.
in the movie.
Totally get
And
it.
the only other thing, and this is very minor, and this is your mileage may vary type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there might have been a couple places where the movie slowed down a tiny bit.
Oh,
for people.
okay.
Did you feel that? Or were you enthralled the entire time?
I think I was pretty into it the whole time. Can you
that's
think
good
of
then.
anywhere in particular?
Nah.
Nah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was pretty into it.
I can't think of a moment.
Okay.
I think when she gets out of the hospital near the end, when she breaks out,
Right.
which is awesome.
It is awesome. That's great.
I expect her to go straight to Cabrini Green. But
Right.
she goes back to her home first.
Right.
And there's the whole scene where she finds her husband, Trevor, with the little co-ed.
Right. Yep. It's like
And I forget her name, Clara
something
Clara?
like that. Yeah.
or
Claire-
Stacy, or is it Stacy? I think it was Stacy.
It might be Stacy. I don't
can't
remember.
I'm looking on IMDb right now because I don't want to get another character name wrong. No, it's not. Clara is the character at the very beginning of the movie in the intro.
Oh, right, telling the story of the urban legend of Candyman.
Yeah,
right.
it's Stacy.
Okay.
It's Stacy. Stacy played by Carolyn Lowry.
Well, there you go.
But anyway, that scene, I could have done without.
Fair. Okay.
You know, we knew he was cheating on her.
Right.
We knew he was kind of a scumbag.
Yeah.
That kind of nailed it home. I think we would have been fine seeing him and Stacy, Trevor and Stacy living together in the end.
Right. Right.
Like, that would have been enough.
Yep.
But I guess they wanted to establish it. That's fine. But I would have been happy if she had broken out of the mental hospital and just felt compelled to go straight to Cabrini Green.
Fair. Yeah, that story-wise, that would make more sense, I think, for her just to go to Cabrini Green, since that's kind of why she broke out.
And especially because she's having visions of the baby.
Right.
And she wants to go there to rescue the baby from Candyman.
Right.
So, yeah, I felt that scene was a little bit too much.
That's fair. I totally get that. Yeah, I think
that's it.
yeah.
And it's a very minor quibble. Very minor.
Hey, we'll take that, man. We'll take some minor quibbles. That's all right, because this movie was pretty awesome.
But let's get back to praising this work of art.
Agreed.
I'll tell you, I was surprised. Not surprised, but once again, man, we are on a roll with attractive villains.
I have that same note. I was like, young Tony Todd? Whoa.
Yeah, man. And I forgot that he was as good looking as he was.
Yeah. Yeah. He was
I just always picture him as Candyman, as this grotesque villain.
Right, no.
He's coming out of his chest, you know?
Right.
And then, like, he's got such moments of, like, tenderness in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Even while he's being ominous and horrifying and scary at the same time.
Right.
The moment that sticks out to me the most when I think of him and his facial expressions is the bees, man.
Yeah, of course.
There was that moment where he's looking at Helen and he's just got this like he's got bees coming out of his freaking mouth, man. Which was done with a little latex appliance. He had a latex appliance in his mouth with a bridge that covered his teeth, and
Nice.
and they actually had bees inside his mouth.
I'd heard that. Did you hear what he asked for kind of the incentive to do it? Did you hear this? Maybe
No,
you have.
tell me.
So he in his contract said, "Okay, every bee sting I get $1,000."
Really?
Yep. And at the end, he made $23,000 just on bee stings. He got 20. No, that's true.
Where did you see this?
I read this in a couple different places, but it's on. I read it most recent on IMDb, but I had heard that story before. I don't remember where.
Because in the Blu-ray now, there's an interview with Tony Todd, and he talks about that he got stung about 25, 26 times.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But he said that was over all 3 movies.
Okay, maybe numbers are wrong, but I have heard that story a couple times. Hopefully,
Okay.
this might be an episode where I come on later and say, I mentioned a story.
Well, no, it's okay because we're saying that that may be just a rumor.
Right, yeah.
They didn't mention it on the Blu-ray. In fact, it was actually difficult. I was trying to find anywhere that they would talk about the bees in his mouth.
Right.
Because they didn't talk about it in his interview. They didn't talk about it in the commentary.
Weird.
And I listened to that. I went to that scene in 2 different commentaries because I think I told you, there's 3 commentaries on this Blu-ray. And one commentary is just Tony Todd and Bernard Rose, the director.
Mm.
And they're talking about something completely different during the bee scene.
What?
And I'm like, guys, there's bees coming out of him. Talk about it, please. So, that maybe they talk about the bees in his mouth in another scene, during another scene in the movie, but they weren't talking about him at that moment. I had to go to like a bonus feature about the makeup effects. And they eventually talked about the bees in his mouth and the appliance, and they said that Tony did it. He took it like a champ. He was wonderful.
Nice.
And he even, after it was all done, he told them that a bee got beneath the latex appliance and was crawling between it and his cheek. But anyway, there is this, like the fact that he's got bees all over him, that he's got bees coming out of his mouth, yet he's still able to act and have that moment of that tender look that he gives Helen.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo, man.
Totally. I agree with you 100%. Tony Todd is the best, period.
Speaking of bees, though.
Yes.
Did you know that Virginia Madsen was allergic to bees?
I read that as well. Yes. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy that she would do that scene. That's bonkers.
All the bees that were on her were less than 24 hours old.
Okay.
Which made them, they didn't fly, and it made them much less likely to sting.
Funny.
So she didn't get stung.
Well, good. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
How about Ted Raimi in the intro to the movie? Little Ted Raimi there. Did you recognize him?
I thought that was him. I was going to look it up. I was like, is that? I think it is. And I knew it.
Sam Raimi's brother.
I knew
Come
it.
on.
Okay. He's just such a distinct looking guy. Not in a bad way. Just you know him when you'd see him. And so I was like, that really looks like him. And I was going to look it up and totally forgot. I knew it, though. That's awesome.
Yeah. I got a lot of little factoids, man. You ready to hear them?
I want to hear your factoids.
Factoid.
Factoid.
Evidently, there were real gangs at Cabrini Green.
Mm-hmm.
They had a schedule. They were told different things like how to film there. That film there before 10 a.m. because after 10 a.m. the gangs woke up. They were out, and evidently Tony Todd. I didn't hear this anywhere else, but Tony Todd in his interview said that the gang members sitting outside when Bernadette and Helen show up for the first time.
Yep.
That those were real gang members.
Oh, geez.
And they had to pay off some of the gangs to be able to film there.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They had to fight to the director said he had to fight to have a black villain in the movie.
Oh, really?
Because the whole movie, a lot of the movie, the undertone was about poverty and the inequality
True.
of,
Yes.
black people and white people when it comes to poverty.
Right.
And so, then here they are depicting their main villain as a black man. And the movie studios were nervous about that. Ooh. But, in the end, it's good because Candyman isn't necessarily a villain.
Right.
He is a man who fell in love with a white woman in the old days and was tortured and eventually killed because of it.
Yeah.
And so he became this spirit and this vengeful spirit.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. But then there you go. There's another thing that evidently the studio and test audiences were kind of weird about was the whole spinning when Candyman is dancing with Helen and the camera's spinning around. That scene was like 2 minutes longer.
Whoa.
And they had to cut a lot out because test audiences weren't ready to see that kind of a relationship. They weren't ready to give Candyman and his victim that sense of romance, I guess.
Oh, crazy. Wow.
Virginia Madsen was actually hypnotized on set.
Interesting.
Yep. By the director himself. He knew how to hypnotize her.
What?
So, and she said, I will never, ever do that for a movie again.
Wow. That sounds horrifying, actually.
Yeah, and it was just to get that look in her face.
Where she's kind of zoning.
Yeah,
I'm
when she's
assuming?
mesmerized.
Yeah. Wow.
I got more.
Lay it on me, man.
Part where she goes in the bathroom and she opens the medicine cabinet and Candyman's hook
Yes.
like bursts through.
Yep.
That was an honest reaction. She didn't know that was about to happen.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. And Tony Todd is such a gentle, kind person that he did not want to do that. He didn't want to scare her like that.
Oh.
And after it was done, and obviously that's what you see on camera, you see her actual reaction. He felt really bad.
Oh.
And she even said, like, all the parts where you see him holding her and stuff, and he was so gentle. And you can see in the movie how gentle he is with her.
For
it's really
sure.
nice.
Yep. Dude, what a cool guy.
Sandra Bullock was originally, she was never, Virginia Madsen was always the choice. But among the other actresses that were up for the part, a young Sandra Bullock was up for the part.
Funny. Interesting.
Nobody really knew who she was.
Huh.
And that's about it. The only other thing is, like, it was really cool to hear Clive Barker talking about it.
Yeah,
and talking
that's cool.
about movie monsters in general. And he was very critical of mainstream horror movies and their monsters. He is talking about, like, how it's so difficult to keep including that monster in consecutive movies and maintain their fear. And one kind of a quote, it's not an exact quote, but he said monsters in movies eventually become the court jesters.
Oh,
And
that's
you have to
good.
think of, like, Freddy Krueger and Jason, they Jason, pretty scary in Friday the 13th Part 2, especially at the time.
Yep.
Freddy Krueger, very scary in Nightmare on Elm Street, but they became comedic.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know about anybody else, but for me, like, Jason didn't become scary again until the remake.
Yeah. Yep.
Freddy obviously became a caricature of himself.
Right.
And became this, like, villain who says funny quips and finds humorous ways to kill his victims. And Clive Barker was kind of lamenting that. And he said he loved how Candyman made this villain a scary villain. It might have been saying something backhanded about the sequels too. Who knows?
Yeah, I forgot there was like 2 more. And then I honestly don't know if the new one is a sequel or a remake or a reboot or I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, buddy.
Oh, please.
I asked our friend of the show, Edward.
Yeah. Hi, Edward.
And I didn't obviously he knows not to tell me too much. But I
Right.
said, is it a sequel or is it a remake? And he said it's not a remake. And that's all he basically said. So that's good.
Cool. Okay. Very cool. I love that. I will say one thing that I really liked. I mean, it's horrifying, but his origin story is horrifying. The fact that, of course, he essentially gets a mob comes after him because he's in love with a white woman back in the day. They cut off his hand because he's a painter, and then he escapes to the area with bees and gets stung to death. What?
I thought they put him in that area.
Oh, is that
and
what it
covered
was?
his body with honey.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yes,
they
you're
tortured
right.
him.
Yep, you're right. Like, but horrifying. Like, just a tier, like a 3-tier kill. I mean, horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, bonkers crazy. And I'm glad they didn't show it. I thought for sure we'd see some kind of an origin, but we didn't really. We saw kind of murals a little bit, but that was it.
Let's just say we haven't yet.
Fair.
And this is me speaking out of ignorance of the future installments of the movie. But yes.
Right. You're right.
I was also pleased with that.
Yes.
And I loved his hook. Like, it wasn't a cheesy little hook. It was a bloody stump.
Yeah.
With nails, like, nailed in there to put his bloody hook in there.
Oh, my gosh. Ugh.
Great design.
Oh, totally. It was awesome. Another thing that I'll say, too, is I really liked, or I thought it was very cool. It's very different. Usually when we get a slasher character, we get these teenagers or, I mean, kind of the stereotype. Whereas this one, it was a married woman and her best friend. I mean, it was they were smarter, a little bit older, not old, but older. I don't know. It was just kind of different than it kind of broke away from that, what people had been doing many times before. And I thought that was cool. I was like, very cool.
I would also I would even hesitate to call this movie a slasher movie.
Fair. You're right. That's fair.
It kind of is, but here's the question. By itself, is it a slasher movie? Or did the sequels make him a slasher villain?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like Hellraiser.
Right.
In Hellraiser, Pinhead is not really a slasher villain.
Right.
But he became one. He became kind of a slasher icon.
Totally true. Yep.
That's just my view. Other people may view it differently, and that's amazing.
Yeah. No wrong way to view it.
Okay, so that brings us to our 3 questions, Andrew.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
Bonk, yes.
Bonk, yes? Is that what you just
I
said?
said bonk, yes, because
Bonk,
I have my answers here, and I bonked. I said bonk,
yes. Okay, so question number 1, Andrew.
Yes.
What was your favorite kill or death?
I think my favorite one is, I don't know what you'd call him, I guess her therapist in kind of the psychiatric ward. I just loved that moment because obviously everyone thinks she's this killer. She's gone crazy. She's a murderer. And she goes, I can call him. I can call Candyman. And she says the 5 Candymans in the mirror. And I totally thought it was going to be one of those tropes in movies where all of a sudden he doesn't show up and she looks crazy, but nope, he sure shows up and he just demolishes the therapist like from behind and then flies backwards out the window. I was like, what just happened? That was amazing. I loved it. So that whole scene was awesome.
It was very gruesome.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Part of that is sold by Tony Todd himself, just the way he looks.
Yeah.
The way they filmed his face and him looking up at her as he's ripping his hook through the guy's back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sells
that's
it.
mine too.
Yeah,
I'm
is it?
with you? Yeah.
Nice. Oh, just a really dark, gruesome, fantastic scene.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
Yes.
Did you find this movie scary?
You know, I did. And I guess I didn't, but I did. It's again, it's such a unique movie, but it was frightening. It was really scary to, especially some of the scenes, like when we really get into the areas that, again, kind of really reminded me of Clive Barker, when they go into that not secret, but behind the mirror in the in that area, and it's all dark and gruesome. There's candy out as like almost an offering to this urban legend.
Yeah.
That was really scary. That was creepy. And there was a lot of moments like that where it was genuinely just eerie and scary and creepy all at the same time. So, and then there was kind of like beautiful moments too. So, yes, I would say it was scary. I would. Am I gonna lose again? Is it one that I'm gonna lose sleep over tonight? No, but it was definitely scary, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Not, personally, no.
Okay.
It's not scary to me.
Fair.
Not the type of thing that really scares me.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see it being scary to somebody else, especially back in '92.
Yeah, for sure.
It's again going back to those times. But even now, I don't know. I could see it being frightening to somebody.
Yeah. Yep.
But personally, I didn't think it was scary. I just thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
And Andrew, number 3, did you have fun with horror?
I mean, yeah, I did. Of course I did. This movie was, like I said, just far exceeded my expectations. A joy to watch, one that I will definitely watch many more times in the future. So, yes, I did have fun with horror.
And I can tell you perfectly honestly, this movie only gets better with rewatches.
Nice. Okay.
Because you get more into the story, and yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I did too. It was
Nice.
It was fun.
Beautiful.
Helen, I came for you.
Scotty, I mentioned this at the beginning, even though I had to backtrack and say everything that
it.
we do is my favorite, but
Stop.
I won't stop because I'm excited, as you know, to hear what your movie of the week is, man. This is so... I told you, it's like Christmas. It's a present. I don't know what
Christmas.
we're going to open up.
You kind of do, though.
I wondered.
You wonder, but it also may be a little bit of a surprise.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, yeah, as we know, there's not just one old Candyman movie. And I say old.
Yeah.
92 is not that old.
No.
But, it is 30 years ago now. Jeez.
Oh, my gosh.
And yeah, I'm just going to continue on this path.
Okay.
Candyman, Farewell to the Flesh
We're doing... yeah, dude.
is my next movie.
Okay, that is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, you thought I was
Whoa.
going to go with the remake.
I
Or
did.
the newer one. Let's stop calling it a remake.
Right.
The newer
the
Candyman.
2021. Yes.
No, I have never seen the sequels. I've never seen Candyman 2. I've never seen Candyman 3.
Nice.
And obviously, I've not seen the new one.
Right.
And, I could pick the new one, but I need to see 2 and 3 before I get to that one.
I'm on board, dude.
Even if there's no connection whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because I'm also so curious, because Candyman was such a singular movie that lived well within itself.
Mm-hmm.
It had a little bit of a cheesy ending that leaves it open to a sequel, but saying that maybe she's the new Candyman.
Right.
But I don't know anything about Candyman Farewell to the Flesh or Day of the Dead. All I know is that Tony Todd is in those movies.
Ooh, that's awesome. I'm on board.
So I want to see, even if they're not as good,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how they decided to continue the story. And I'm going to tell you a story, Andrew.
Please. You know I love stories.
So Bernard Rose was obviously approached
Sure.
to do the sequel to Candyman 2, or the sequel to Candyman.
Right.
And his idea was not to continue the story of Candyman, but to do a different Clive Barker adaptation.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And he was going to do the Midnight Meat Train.
Oh, nice.
But the studio, obviously, they wanted to capitalize on the success of the character himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they wanted to continue a story of Candyman. So also, Clive Barker read Bernard Rose's treatment of Midnight Meat Train and wasn't particularly sold on it.
Ah, interesting.
And that's another one. I won't get into it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm very curious to see where they take the character in Farewell to the Flesh and in Day of the Dead. Because I don't know.
Dude,
like how
it.
bad can they make it? It's almost like that too.
Right.
Like I know the Hellraiser movies. I haven't seen all those, but I know from word of mouth that those get really pretty bad. I honestly really don't know how bad the Candyman movies get, but I'm willing to go for that ride to find out.
I'm on board, dude. That's amazing.
So, Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, it looks like it might be available to Prime Video subscribers.
Okay.
In HD. Also, maybe on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and of course, it's available for purchase.
Nice.
iTunes, Amazon, what have you, different places, Vudu.
Mm-hmm.
You can purchase it places.
Cool. Okay.
So that is our next movie, buddy.
Oh man, yeah, it totally surprised me. I really thought you were going with. I either thought you were gonna do the 2021 one, or throw me off my game and do something not in
Totally
this world.
different.
Yeah, totally different. But I was not expecting the direct sequel to Candyman. This is exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited too. This week going down the Candyman rabbit hole was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I just want to stay down it.
Oh, I love it.
So
I love it, man. This is exciting. Yeah, totally on board.
there we go.
Awesome. Aw. Well, thank
There we
you.
go.
Thank you for another amazing week of fun with horror.
And now the end is near.
That's all you can sing
That's all I can sing.
before we get
Copyright.
sued. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this was a good week. I liked it. I
Me
loved
too.
Candyman.
Yep.
It's honestly one of my favorite weeks yet.
Agreed.
Since we started doing this.
Totally agree. Yep. We needed something nice at the beginning of 2022 with everything going on, I feel. So
And New Year's Evil wasn't that?
it was fun, but this was just such a conversation movie. You know what I mean? This was, I don't know. It was just different in the best way.
This was I mean, it's our third movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I would absolutely say, just judging from our critiques of the other two movies,
Mm-hmm.
this is definitely the first actually, the first movie that we both loved.
Yes, I would agree. Yep.
We have fun with New Year's Evil, but it's not that good a movie.
Mm.
And Don't Breathe 2 had some issues.
Yep.
A little disappointing to us. But
Mhm.
Candyman was great.
Yep.
Can't promise that Farewell to the Flesh is going to be great too, but we'll see.
Let's find out
Let's
on
find
next
out,
week's
buddy.
episode of Fun with
Next
Horror.
week's episode. Cliffhanger.
What will they think of next? I don't know.
Okay.
Ugh. On that note.
On that note, Andrew, everybody out there, you can find us on social media. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. So look for us. Do a search for us. Email us at funwithhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. Say hello. We're happy to converse with our fans out there.
Yeah. Talk to us.
All three of you.
Stop it. We have lots of fans and friends.
We do.
We do.
And we love you all.
Yes, we do. We love each and every one of you. Thank you all.
You
for
know what
listening.
you know what they are to me, Andrew?
Uh-oh, what?
They are sweets to the sweet.
Ooh.
Yes, did it. God, fit it in. Yeah.
Whoever didn't watch Candyman on this is gonna go, I don't get it. But any Candyman watchers are gonna go, oh.
They're gonna say, I don't get it, but I like it.
Ooh.
All right, Andrew. Have a wonderful week.
You
I love
as
buddy.
well. Goodbye, everyone. Love you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
They say that I have shed innocent blood. What's blood for, if not for shedding? With my hook for a hand, I'll split you from the groin to your gullet.